Welcome to Visual Testaments Broadcast with Tim and Dawna Avery. Broadcasting from Spartanburg, South Carolina, we're here to bring you encouragement and point the fatherless to the Father and bring hope to the hopeless. This is the Visual Testaments Broadcast.
Welcome to Visual Testaments. We are
Tim and Dawna Avery.
And we're so excited that you guys are joining us today.
Very excited.
We have one of our special guests that have come back and share a little bit more about a topic we talked about last time, which was self-sabotage. Donna's going to be interviewing Sophia, our daughter, which had such a great conversation last time she was here. Donna's going to continue the conversation with Sophia about self-sabotage. So I'll let you ladies take it away.
Awesome. So, Sophia, last week, you discussed self-sabotage and you discussed identity, identifying it. Mm-hmm. You discussed basically how to address it. Mm-hmm. And then you also addressed, why do I do it? And you even gave a challenge to our listeners, which I loved the challenge. And I know we're going to get great feedback from that. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit more on self-sabotage in the form of one of the words you used was confronting, and that really stood out to me. Yeah. And so how do you think of ways the listeners that are going through self-sabotage, once they've identified, how can they confront?
I think some of the ways that you can confront, you can confront many different ways. Like I said in the last podcast, is just asking, why have I allowed myself to think that this is an okay way to think? Mm-hmm. Why have I become complacent or comfortable with this way of thinking? It's essentially, I would make it an equivalent to like having this person in your house who's literally trashing your house. And you're literally not saying like, if somebody was to trash my house, I'd be, what the heck are you doing in my house trashing it? And essentially that's what self-sabotage does, is it's trashing you up on the inside and you're not saying anything about it. So simply just being like, hey, why am I thinking this way? This isn't healthy. This isn't ultimately driving me towards what I want. Right. So just asking why. And that's one of the ways you can confront it. Two is allowing people that know you very well, that know your heart, that know your intention. That's a huge thing, because I can tell a stranger that I want relationship, and the minute that I go to fight that stranger, they're going to be like, what the heck? Your actions don't say you want relationship. But the people closest to me are going to say, I know that you want relationship.
That's good.
You're afraid of getting hurt, and let's just be honest about what you really want.
That's so good.
Let's not sabotage. Like, let's just, what is your intention? What do you want? And if it's to be loved and be connected, well, then let's do that. Just having those people that are surrounding you that are going to be intentional about confronting you and being like, hey, I see this in you, and you're worth so much more than that. Don't settle, which I think a lot of times what we do is just settle.
That's so good. So basically you're saying accountability partner.
Yeah, like having an accountability partner, someone who's going to hold you to a standard higher than what you would normally comfortably hold yourself to.
That's good.
Yeah.
They would cause you to stretch.
Right.
And get out of that sabotaging culture that you're typically in.
Right. And I will say, and I'm going to preface it with this, because just what I have walked through in my own life is I've had somebody very close to me who would be like, why are you doing these things? Go and do these things because these are ultimately going to help you reach your goal.
Right.
And I fought on that. I literally was like, no, I don't feel like doing that today. Or I don't want to do that. Or no, like what's the point? Like there's no point in doing it because I'm going to fail. And until you make that decision yourself,
right, that
you are, again, I'll say this till I'm blue in the face, of you are worth going after that goal. And if you fail, if you succeed, people are equally afraid of success as they are failure.
So true.
When you decide that regardless of the outcome, a lot of people quit before they even try.
Right.
Until you yourself decide that you are worth that and that you are willing to fight for that, no accountability partner is going to be able to push you to make that decision.
So right on. Yes, we've actually had people that we've even helped in our lifestyle coaching with, like you were talking about in the last episode, weight loss. And unless we confronted them on the areas of really how badly do you want it on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, I am over this, let's do this, I'll do whatever you say, jumping to the next step after step, matching you, to one, not really interested. It just sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
And once you've got those intentions like you talk about, and having them really show you, look, I'm on a scale of 11. I am over this.
Right.
Okay, well then your 11 is going to speak, like you said, you're going to have application that follows.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Unless you're fed up, and it'll show.
Right.
And the way that you start to change your daily decisions and your daily habits and your daily thoughts,
right,
it will show whether or not you are fed up.
Right.
When you are fed up, you will start to make strides towards things that are going to drive you towards achieving those goals. Right. If you're not doing that, if you're not making those small decisions, you're not going to look towards your convenience to make those decisions. Right. You're gonna be like, wow, I have to do this. So whether it's convenient or not, my mind is made up. I'm going to do these things.
Right. So your skin's definitely in the game.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, and another thing, you were speaking about having someone who can hold you accountable, and if they're super close to you, them knowing what to call you on.
Right.
But also, wouldn't you say that consistency plays a big factor in that as well? Because like you were saying, if somebody's willing to do it, obviously, if you've been self-sabotaging for all your life and you're a 30-year-old.
Right.
If you're a 60-year-old.
Right.
Now, would you say, especially for, let's say, those baby boomers out there, if that have maybe self-sabotaged all their life, and they're hearing this broadcast today and going, I'm really an 11. I am fed up.
Right.
Would you say that there's any hope for them?
Absolutely. I would say the number one thing is not getting in a pity party of, I'm 70. What more could I possibly do? If you are still breathing, there is still a purpose, and there is still a reason that God has you on this earth. And to diminish that is to rob God of glory. And so honestly, you are the only limiting factor in this equation. If you tell yourself and you dwell in a pity party, you will keep yourself from ultimately a life of fulfillment and an effort to bring God glory. And so you definitely can. You have everything that you need in order to do this if you don't play the victim and you don't let yourself wallow in a pity party.
So what would you say on consistency? What does that look like, for example, for someone who's wanting to go after not just a job, because obviously there's going to be a point where you hit the goal or you don't.
Right.
But let's say you're really wanting a particular new position. Mm-hmm. And you know that's going to be maybe a 5-year goal, but maybe do I really want to work that hard? What does consistency look like?
Right. Well, I think at the core of consistency, I think it'll change for different things. But ultimately, like, I think even asking yourself, why do you want the position? Because if you just want the position for, meaningless reasons, that's going to really affect the way you get up out of bed every morning. It's going to affect your drive and whether you want to go after it every day. If you want that position because it means that you're going to show your children what's possible and what they're going to accomplish and what is possible for them, that they get to wake up and they get to go after what they want, then that's going to be the consistency that drives you. That's going to be something that creates that consistency. Not to just obtain a position because you want approval of man or because you want it's okay to want money and more things, but like that won't be what drives you out of bed every morning.
So good. That brings me to my next now very important question.
Oh gosh.
What is it? You just fired me up on that when you said that, about your children. So what would you say? Because now I can't wait to hear the answer because I'm just thinking in so many directions. But what would you say about what in mine and your dad's life, what form of consistency have you seen in us, or even maybe some self-sabotage, or what have you seen in us that consistency has caused you to run after as the child that you've watched us do something for with hopefully purpose?
Gosh, a loaded question. I mean, you really didn't take it easy on me on this one. This is a spur of the moment thing, guys. Like, she didn't even tell me that this was going to come up. Just let me preface it with that. So I'm going to try and compose myself. No, but really, I think one of the things that you guys have just shown me what's possible is just like going after, really, like I use that analogy of like if you're going to wake up every morning, if you're going after that position because you want to show your kids what's possible, I really think that's a direct reflection of you and Dad. I mean, you guys have every day just show me what's possible, and not just as the world says what's possible, or that you should want more money, or that you should want more status, or that you should want approval of man, but you've shown me, what do you want and why do you want it? And if, your why and your what are with pure intent, go after it and make it happen. And there's I really get this visual of you remember how you have like lifting the lid? I feel like the lid was already pre-lifted for me because I guess I've just never really had, I've always known that things are going to be possible for me and that I'm going to be able to go and achieve those things. And I believe that it's, as a result of you and Dad choosing, ways of not self-sabotaging day in and day out, or constantly having accountability, or constantly allowing yourselves to learn and be the student, that has made a difference in my life, and that has allowed me to now look at my life and say, hey, what do I want my kids to say about me? What limiting beliefs do I have? What small ways am I sabotaging that I need to, go ahead and handle now before I have children, so that they can look at me almost in the sense of how I look at you guys. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's awesome.
Hey, it was a loaded question. You deserve a loaded answer on that one.
Thank you. I know that means so much to me and your dad.
Well, you guys mean a lot to me, so I just want to let you guys know that you're very lucky to get what you guys get day in and day out from these two. It's definitely gold, and share it with everyone you know, really.
We definitely have, as we close, we want to encourage you guys, like, don't forget that self-sabotaging isn't something, it's like Sophia said, number one, you don't want to self-sabotage the fact that you have self-sabotage.
Right. You
want to be able to confront it and tell other people. And a lot of times you'll open their eyes up to the fact that you're as healthy as a person takes to be able to admit that, hey, I've got self-sabotaging areas. And
right.
That's such a healthy trait to recognize it in the first place. And so I just challenge you guys as we close this one out to really be able to just call a couple of friends, not just one, but two close friends that will want to help you with identifying these things and see you be the best you can be. Mm-hmm. And where you're going to be going in the future is going to be absolutely limitless. So that does it for our episode 2 with our daughter, Sophia. You can
love you guys.
Yes. Look her up on social media. It's at Sophia Helene. And we want to hear from you guys, especially on your areas of self-sabotage and the areas that you'd like to, if you have anything that you want to pray for us for, and any areas that you want us to help connect and go further and deeper into this, make sure you email us at info@visualtestaments.com. Well, thank you, Sophia, for being a part of the broadcast.
Thank you guys so much for listening and having me. Truly, it's an honor.
Awesome.
Thank you for listening to the Visual Testaments broadcast with Tim and Dawna Avery. Dawna and I want to invite you to share your testimony at visualtestaments.com today. Your testimony can be shared on our future broadcast. Be sure to tune in with us next time for the Visual Testaments broadcast.